Before we dive into the concept of state, let's understand rendering. In React, rendering means displaying UI elements on the screen. When we called the greeting component with the prop name set to React enthusiast earlier and saw the message appear in browser, that was greeting component being rendered. Now, this is not a one-time thing. React components are dynamic creatures with the ability to re-render. Every time the data that builds the UI changes, React re-renders the component to reflect the latest state. But how does this component remember those changes? This is where component state comes in. State is like a component's memory. It allows your app to remember information between renders. React provides a special hook called useState to manage this state. We'll dive deeper into what hooks are later in the course, so don't worry if the term is new to you. Anyway, to understand states, let's modify this greeting example where a user types their name and clicks a button to see a personalized greeting. Right, let's go over the typed code step by step. So at the top, we import useState from React. This hook gives us a way to declare state variables. Then we declare the states. A state is declared as a const with two parts in square brackets. The first is the variable to hold the state, and second is a function to update the state. The name state variable starts as an empty string, that is, the value passed to the useState hook. SetName is the function that updates this value. Similarly, message holds the greeting message, which updates when the button is clicked via setMessage function. So when the user types in the input box, the handle change function updates the name state using the setName function. And when the button is clicked, handle click reads the current name value and updates the message state, which is displayed on the screen. Every time we update the state with setName or setMessage, React re-renders the component to reflect the new data. This is how dynamic and interactive UIs are built. All right, the last thing left to do is export it and use it. Here we go. Next, we go to the app component, and instead of rendering greeting, we now render personalized greeting, and it does not take any argument. Let's see how it looks like. And it says enter your name, and I say Ali, click greet me, and it says hello Ali. So this is clearly working, but let me also quickly show you what happens if I modify it such that it does not use the state variables, instead it just uses const. I comment these out and change const name equal to an empty string and const message equal to hello. In here I change name equal to event.target that value instead of using the set name state update function, and in handle click I'm going to use simply do a alert message, and this message is dependent on the name variable, so ideally it should properly say my name. So now let's go and see what happens. And as I type, you can see it's not letting me enter my name even, because the text box is showing the value set to name. So even though on handle change it's being called, and we can confirm. So if we go and retry this time, let me type my name, and you can clearly see that the event handler is being called, but no React component update is happening or re-render is going on. So if we go back to the code, we can confirm whether the variable name is in fact being changed. So if I come back, type the name again, yes, it is being updated, but it's not contributing to the re-render because it's not a state variable. Next, I'm going to show you a bonus example which arguably does not belong in a crash course, But every React developer inevitably runs into this situation and then wishes that he or she knew the solution earlier. So if you haven't liked and subscribed yet, you can do so when, not if, you face this situation. So in this example, we are going to discuss functional state updates. Functional state updates are essential in scenarios where the new state depends on the previous state, such as asynchronous state changes or when multiple updates occur in quick succession. For cases where you need the previous state value, React allows a functional update. Here's a counter component to demonstrate this. Let me quickly type the code. Let me also make sure this is used in the app component. So if I go here, we are done. So what's going on here? We have a counter being displayed on the web page along with a button which when clicked should increment the counter twice, right? So let's go ahead and see if it works as expected. And no, it's clearly not working as expected. It's incrementing by 1, not 2. So what's going on here? The problem is that React tends to batch updates that are made in quick succession. This is due to this asynchronous nature of React state update and batching behavior. So the problem is that both set count calls reference the same count value from the initial render. So as a result, calling the increment twice button increases the count only by 1 instead of expected to. To address this issue, you can use functional state updates, which ensure that each state update is based on the most recent state value. To do that, we are going to not pass a value, but a function to the set count value. And we go like this. I'm going to say previous count. Same goes here. And now if I go back and try this out, you can say it's now working exactly as expected. So how did this work? In this example, each setCount call uses a functional update that receives the previous state value as the previous count argument. This approach ensures that the state updates are applied sequentially and correctly, resulting in the count increasing by 2 when increment twice button is clicked. So this was a bonus example. I know it's a bit advanced example for this course, but just keep that in the back of your head if and when this situation comes up.